Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter and Shane. Set up, Shane.
What's up, nerds?
We are back doing something very awesome. That's right, we are taking a look at the Scions and Spellcraft commander deck from the new set Final Fantasy. Shane, you had the opportunity to go ahead and upgrade this. I'm very excited to see what you've done with this. Before we do, I just want to tell everybody we are just doing the face commander here, which is Y'shtola, Knights Blessed. If you guys wanted to check out Grahatia, that is going to be early over on our Patreon. So if you want to check it out early, check the link in the description for our Patreon and check it out. Otherwise, wait a couple weeks. It'll be here. Shane, talk to me about Y'shtola and the direction of the deck.
Let's do it. Y'shtola is a 1, a white, a blue, and a black for a 2/4 legendary creature cat warlock. It's got vigilance, and it says at the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. It also says whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. A lot of fun text going on here. It's going to be a bit of a board drain, and you gain, and if I know anything about that strategy, I'm going to die a lot.
That strategy has definitely not killed you in the past. I mean, what, you're a Iriet player, so this is very reminiscent of that, isn't it?
Very,
Yeah.
very reminiscent, and I'm very excited.
I am too. When I saw these decks spoiled, I immediately locked eyes with Y'shtola and was like, this is the one I like the most. So I'm very excited to see what you do. But before we get into the additions, Shane, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Today's video is sponsored by Evoke the Art and their new Gradient Craft token series. This token set features 50 high-quality tokens in some stunning gradient art style, featuring some original art, free of any AI-generated designs, ensuring authentic and unique visuals, designed for players who appreciate both function and aesthetics. These will bring a vibrant and distinct look to your battlefield. Head over to zaximusstudios.etsy.com for more information on picking up these and more tokens. The link will be in the description. We got a special gift for all of our Guys That Magic fans. Use the code WhatsUpNerds at checkout to get 10% off your order and get this awesome Guys That Magic treasure token. Huge thanks to all of our friends over at Evoke the Art. Now let's get back to the video.
So, Shane, let's go ahead and jump into these additions. First and foremost, let's talk about some of the creatures you threw in.
All right, let's do it. So normally what I like to do is what you like to do. Go through the new set, put some new cards in. But this deck out of the box, I feel like had so much of a flavor win already in it. And there really wasn't that many cards that came out, in my opinion, that I wanted to throw in. So we don't have any new ones coming in. But we do have some juicy creatures coming in. The first one being Delny Streetwise Lookout. It is 2 and a white for a 2/2 Human Scout. It says creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. It also says if ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. With our commander being, 2, it's fantastic because now when she does the damage to people, we're going to get that doubled. And then just in case we do want to be swinging in with some smaller creatures, like it's a pretty good card here. I like it a lot, and I think it's going to put in a lot of work.
Yeah, the ability of your commander triggers twice, not only with dealing the damage twice, but also drawing 2 cards. That's
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
it's going to pull a lot of weight.
Definitely.
I'm also putting in Campbell Council of Allocations. It's a 1, a white, and a black for a 2/3 Human Advisor. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Pretty important because Y'shtola needs to be having 4 damage dealt. She can do 2 herself. I mean, maybe you can do 2 if you have 2 different spells, or that'll cast you 4. But with this guy, pretty regularly we're gonna have 4 damage on all of our opponents, or at least 1.
Yeah, really important card as well because Y'shtola cares about each end step. So
Yep,
if your opponents are dealing damage themselves, that helps your strategy.
big time.
Now, those look like the only 2 creatures you've added. Let's move on to the instant department.
So yeah, the Y'shtola cares about things that are 3 or greater, mana-wise. There aren't too many things I want to throw in that were like splashy, but I just thought that these 2 in particular would just kind of help round the deck out a little bit. So Anguish on Making, 1, a white and a black. It's an instant. Exile target non-land permanent, you lose 3 life. It's not like super flashy by any means, but it will trigger my commander, and it will also get something off the board. Just a pretty good removal spell, and also trigger the commander. I'm also throwing in Frantic Search for 2 and a blue. Instant, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Untap 3 lands. Once again, just a really good way to dig through our deck, trigger our commander, and I mean, card draw's great, dude.
Yeah, having those mana value 3 or greater, these hit that clause. So, hey, why not throw them in the deck, right?
Exactly.
And speaking of 3 or greater, I see 1 sorcery you're adding in here as well.
Yeah, so out of the box, this deck had 3, I believe it was, board wipes. And they're not the greatest board wipes, so you'll see later, but I'm gonna take one of them out. But I'm gonna add Toxic Deluge in. So 2 and a black, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you pay X life. All creatures get -X till end of turn. I mean, it's just one of the best board wipes in my opinion in black. And it's 3, so it'll trigger our commander. And it's just fantastic. Really good card.
Yeah, I love Toxic Deluge. I think if you're running any type of black, you're probably throwing a Toxic Deluge in the deck because it's just one of the best removal spells you can have in black. So, not surprised you're throwing it in here.
I'm not surprised either.
But let's go back into the permanent department. I'm seeing some enchantments starting with a couple of auras.
Yeah, and this first one does not trigger our commander, but that's completely fine because both of these do something very special for us. So Curiosity is 1 blue mana, enchantment aura, enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. That just says deals damage, and our commander's ability says deals damage. She's particularly doing that damage. So now, whenever we cast a spell that triggers her, we're also going to draw a card. Really good.
A little bit of synergy there. So, whenever you cast those cards, you're dealing damage, you're drawing cards at the end step, you're drawing cards. What do we say? Card draw wins games.
Let's hope that it wins the games. I'm also putting in Ophidian Eye for 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment aura that has flash. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Pretty much the exact same text there, but now you have flash. Really good, dude. Big fan of this card.
And this one's 3 mana.
It is, so it'll trigger a commander.
It's that little threshold. I like it. But those aren't the only enchantments you are adding. We got some non-aura enchantments. What are these ones?
This one won't trigger our commander, but it's really good in the deck. So Blood Chief Ascension, 1 black mana. It's an enchantment. It says at the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on this card. It also says whenever a card is put into your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, Blood Chief Ascension has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life. If you do, you gain 2 life. It's just another way to get to that 4 because our commander says our somebody needs to lose 4 life. So this is just a really easy way for that to happen.
More gain and drain. Why not?
More gain and drain. Wow, yeah, exactly. This one is important because we might be a problem at the table. The Ghostly Prison's going in the deck. 2 and a white, enchantment. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature that is attacking you. Now, Propaganda is already in this deck, so can't add that one, but we can add the white one. And now, if we have both those on the field, no one's attacking you. That's really good.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid, just, hey, don't touch me while I do the cool thing.
Exactly.
And finally, Shane, I do see you touch the mana base just a little bit. We got 3 lands.
Yeah, I was looking over this mana base, and it made me so sad because it's like tap land after tap land and filter land after filter land. So it's like I needed to add something just to help me a little bit. So I put all the bond lands in that I could. Morphic Pool, Sea of Clouds, and Vault of Champions. They all enter the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents, which I hope you have. And then they tap for their respective colors. So Morphic Pool, blue and a black, Sea of Clouds, white and a blue, Vault of Champions, white and a black. I just like putting these in all of my upgrades at this point now because it just helps smooth out the deck so much, in my opinion. And yeah, I had a little bit extra budget, so I got to put them in.
Smooth out the deck, make the deck faster. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point of just asking for just these to be in the precons. They'll never do it because I don't know why.
Nah,
Just
they won't.
just please. But is that it? Is that all the additions to this deck?
That's it. Yeah, honestly, I think out of the box, there were so many fun toys already in the deck, so I just had to add a couple of things to make it even better.
Yeah, no problem. Short, sweet, to the point. But now is the part where we get some people a little sad because as cool as these Final Fantasy decks are, we have to make room for those new additions. So Shane, talk to me about some of the creatures you are cutting.
Yep, and like you said in your video, if you're a fan of this deck, please don't take it apart. Keep it the way it is. But if you want to make some additions, you unfortunately got to make some cuts. So I'm going to be cutting a couple of new cards that were already in the deck. Don't hate me. This first one I'm going to be cutting, I'm going to butcher the name. Oriange Urelt. Please, don't laugh at me. It's a white and a blue for a 1/3 Elf Advisor. It says whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. You could also tap it. Look at the top card of your library. You may exile it face down. You can also tap it again until end of turn. You may play cards exiled with discard. Spells you cast this way cost 2 less to cast. Just kind of weird. Didn't really feel like it kind of should be in this deck. I get its card advantage, and I get that you're gonna be gaining life, but like kind of weird. I didn't really like it.
Yeah, I mean, in the deck there are some like adventures, which are technically exile effects. But this card in particular is more of like a step by step jumping through hoops. You got to set up by exiling the top card, and then you can play that top card with this card to get the thing. It's interesting. I see why you cut it.
Yeah. Speaking of adventure, I'm gonna be cutting an adventure. So it's Hildebrand Manderville, but the adventure side is Gentleman's Rise. For 2 and a black, it's an instant that's an adventure. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And then you can pay 1 and a white later. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1. When Hildebrand dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. It's kind of cool. I like this card a lot. I just don't think I like it in the build currently. We don't really care about creature tokens that much. There are some things that make it, our backup commander makes it, but it's not like the focal point. So I kind of cut it.
Yeah, you're trying to add some cool things to make your commander a little bit better. Hildebrand's not doing that.
Yep. I'm also getting rid of Hypnotic Sprite. It is 2 blue mana. It is also an adventure, like you mentioned. The adventure is Mesmeric Glare for 2 and a blue. Instant adventure. Counter target spell with mana value 3 or less. And then you can pay, like I said, that 2 blue for a flyer. It's a 2/1. Don't really want to be countering stuff that's 3 or less. Kind of sucks. And then just like a 2/1 body. Okay. Like it's just, I thought it was very underwhelming.
It's very underwhelming. It's an uncommon here for a reason. I think it's trying to keep that mana value 3 stapled onto a card somewhere, and that's what they came
True.
up with.
True. I'm also going to be getting rid of it on the summon. So summon Good King Moog the 12th. 4 and a white. It's a 4/4 flying lifelink. The first saga counter says create 2/1/2 white mobile creature tokens with lifelink. The second and third say whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, create a token that's a copy of a non-saga token you control. And then the fourth says put 2 +1/+1 counters on each other mobile you control. It's kind of cute. It's kind of cool. That's about it though. Not a really big fan of this, honestly, in this build.
Yeah, it's one of those, hey, we care about tokens a lot with this card. You don't necessarily care about tokens too much, like you mentioned with Hildebrand. So, another easy cut.
Yeah.
That appears to be the last creature, but you did mention earlier you got rid of a board wipe and you were going to talk about it. So, I think we're here to talk about it.
We are here to talk about it. The one getting the axe, in my opinion, is Crux of Fate. 3 and 2 black for a sorcery. Choose one. Destroy all dragon creatures, destroy all non-dragon creatures. It's kind of just that's it. And that's cool and all, but like, no. Not a big fan of this card. The other ones that I'm keeping in, they're not the greatest either, but this was the one that I thought was the worst in my opinion, so I cut it.
Yeah, we just came from a very heavy themed dragon set before this one. So, that makes sense there, not here. But moving on, we are getting rid of one enchantment, it looks like.
Yep, Bastion of Remembrance, not a big fan of this card here either. 2 and a black enchantment. When this enchantment enters, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. And whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. A little bit of that gain and drain, a little bit of that token strategy. Like I said, I don't think I'm focusing too heavily with the face commander and wanting to make tokens. So I just cut it out of there for that.
Yeah, Bastion Remembered is also very good in kind of an aristocrat strategy. Now, while it does do the gain and drain, like you mentioned, you're not really that strategy.
Right. And I don't really have control of it either because I don't really want my stuff to die in this way that I'm playing right now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we got 3 artifacts that you're cutting.
This first one I'm never a fan of at all, man. And every precon, it's like the most precon card. Unless you're playing like group hug, I guess, but whatever, that's beside the point. Coveted Jewel, 6 mana, artifact. When this artifact enters, you draw 3 cards. You can tap it, add 3 mana of any one color. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent's control attack you and aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards and gains control of this artifact. Untap it. I, that's bad. That's super bad. I get that you could draw the 3 and then you could tap mana, whatever. But like, dude, no, I'm not a fan of this card.
I hate Coveted Jewel. Get it out of my life.
Like I said, unless you're playing group hug, maybe. But other than that, no.
Still no. It's 6
Still no.
mana.
And then this is the last new card I'm cutting. Sage's Newlith. It's 1 and a blue for an artifact equipment. It's got job select, so if you don't remember, when it enters, it creates a 1/1 and then attaches to it. It says equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature. And it is a cleric in addition to its other types. Equip cost of 3. Kind of a cool card, but kind of just like a whatever card. It'll untap the one attacking. That's cool. But other than that, out of all the new job select in this deck particularly, I thought this was the weakest one.
Yeah, you don't get that trigger. It's 2 mana on your commander, so it's kind of bad there. And just giving something pseudo vigilance isn't very powerful.
Yeah, I agree. And then this last one, it might look weird because I'm cutting some card draw, but I think I added a lot better card draw, honestly. So I'm cutting Tome of Legends, 2 mana for an artifact. This artifact enters with a page counter on it. Whenever a commander enters or attacks, put a page counter on this artifact. You get pay 1, tap it, remove a page counter from this artifact, draw a card. So it's like the super slowest of slow card draw, in my opinion. It's like do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, and then you get a card. So I didn't like it.
No. Uh, you added better card draw. Card draw does win games, not this kind of card draw.
Not this kind.
Finally, we did see you add those 3 awesome bond lands. Which lands are you taking out?
We're taking out lands that I super don't like. So we're cutting Darkwater Catacombs, Desolate Mire, and Temple of the False Gods. Because I don't know why it's in the deck. But the first two, Darkwater and Desolate, they are the filter lands. They don't tap for any mana by themselves. You have to pay 1 into them and then tap them, and then they give you 2. Darkwater is a blue and a black, and Desolate is a white and a black. I just really hate this. They don't tap for anything, and you have to do math and think about like, okay, can I not tap this to tap this? Like it's just a headache. And then Temple of the False God, man, it's always going to be in one of your first 3 draws, and you're sad. It'll tap for 2 colorless, and you can only activate this if you have 5 or more lands. Not a good card, man. You know this.
Yeah, same boat. I have always played a Precon that's got Temple of the False God when I'm trying them out. That always is like my first draw. Here it is, Temple of the False God. Can't use it.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
But yeah, I agree. Also, the filter lands are not good either. So, easy cuts. But Shane, that looks like it's going to be it. Is that right?
That's it, man. That's my Ishtola.
Alrighty. Well, the question is, you saw all of the prices on the screen for those cars. They are still right there at time of recording. If you add them all up, Shane, what is that total?
We're gonna be a little bit over budget, Hunter. Don't hate me. $100.52. But like you said, maybe they'll come down a bit. Let's hope.
Yeah, it might. You never know. Price fluctuates all the time. So 52 cents over. I'm not going to get you on that. Or a $100 upgrade. Go grab a couple of quarters.
Appreciate it.
But Shane, I got another question for you before we wrap things up for the people here. What do you think of this deck now that you've kind of upgraded it, and how do you feel about Ishtola overall?
I think she's a great commander. I think out of the box, there were so many toys in there that are gonna be so much fun to play with. And the upgrade, it might seem like, oh, you're not really adding too much in the ways of making her proc, but honestly, it's already in the deck. So I just wanted to, add a couple of pieces around her to make it just really go off. And I think that's what I did. And I can't wait to play her. Probably gonna die first because everyone's gonna be looking at me and it's gonna be like arch enemy, but I can't wait.
Definitely. She seems a lot of fun. Kind of scared when we do our $100 upgrade battle. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down there. And while you're down there, might as well like this video if you liked it. Leave a comment down below letting Shane know what you thought of these upgrades. Maybe there's something that he missed that you would have added. Maybe there's something that he cut that you don't believe should have been cut. Always interested to hear your guys' opinions. It makes us better deck builders and whatnot. So we feed off of you guys. But yeah, that's going to do it. If you guys wanted to check out this entire deck list, check the link in the description. Playtest it yourself. It's very fun. While you're in the description, you'll find links to all of our social media accounts as well. Check us out on those to stay up to date with everything else that we got going on. And on the screen right now, there's all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your added support. It really does mean the world to us. If you guys wanted to check out what they're seeing, that includes some exclusive content, even the early access to the backup commander here for Scions and Spellcraft. Check it out in the link below as well, and consider subscribing. And a very special shout out to our Gains Indestructible tier, starting with Aaron Hill,
Aaron Martin,
Brian Ganella,
Daryl Tripp,
Demarion Turner,
Dr. Rome,
Jimmy Ward,
Kevo,
Larry Killian,
Thrifty PSGR.
and William Colombo. You guys are awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. And until the next video, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Bye bye.